Hello, Yankees universe. Welcome back to your go-to channel, the New York Yankees News Network, where we bleed pinstripes 24/7. Today we have three absolutely jam-packed updates about our Bronx Bombers that just hit the headlines a few hours ago. The stove is hot, rumors are flying, and honestly, some of this news might have you shouting at your screen. From stalled contract talks with a superstar to a surprising international announcement for one of our infielders and a controversial front office strategy that has everyone questioning the brass, we are covering it all. So, if you are a true Yankees fan, you do not want to miss a single second of these updates. And yes, before we start the video, I have a small request for you. If you are new to the channel, then please do not forget to smash that like button and subscribe so that you can stay in the loop with everything happening in the Bronx. So, let's get straight into it. Update 1. Is the front office panicking? The $50 million Plan B after Bellinger talks hit a wall. All right, folks, let's dive right into our first major story of the day. And sadly, it is the kind of news that might make you feel a little uneasy about where this offseason is heading. We all know the New York Yankees are looking for help to bolster this lineup, but the latest whispers coming out of the front office might not be enough to boost your confidence as we head towards spring training. While we have been sitting here waiting for a massive splash, our rivals out west, the Los Angeles Dodgers, just went out and landed another massive star in Kyle Tucker to help defend their World Series title. Seeing the rich get richer is painful enough, but it is what the Yankees are doing, or failing to do, that is the real headline here. For weeks, we have been hearing about the lengthy negotiations between the Yankees and free agent outfielder Cody Bellinger. He was supposed to be the priority, but according to the latest reports, those talks have officially hit a stalemate. USA Today's Bob Nightingale reported that the vibe in Gotham City regarding Bellinger's future is looking grim. Here is the breakdown of why this is falling apart. The Yankees have reportedly offered Bellinger a 5-year deal worth roughly $155 million to $160 million. That offer includes no deferrals and potential opt-outs, according to sources close to the negotiation. Sounds decent, right? Well, not to Bellinger. He is digging his heels in and is seeking a 7-year contract. He has countered the Yankees' offer, but the gap remains wide. Because of this stalemate, the Yankees are reportedly growing pessimistic about re-signing him. And because they missed out on Kyle Tucker, who the Dodgers snatched up after the Yankees were floated as a sleeper team for him, New York is now scrambling for alternatives. This brings us to the most controversial part of this update. With Bellinger potentially off the table, the Yankees are now investigating trade possibilities, and one name has surged to the top of the list: Chicago White Sox outfielder Luis Robert Jr. Now, before you get too excited, let's look at the reality here. The New York Post's John Heyman reports that the Yankees are considering this trade as a sort of reclamation project. Robert is currently on a 6-year, $50 million contract with the White Sox. The good news is that if the Yankees trade for him, they would inherit a club option for the year 2027. This means if the franchise is not pleased with his production, they could cut ties with him after the 2026 season. But here is why fans are feeling underwhelmed. Luis Robert Jr. is coming off a massive hitting slump since making the All-Star team in 2023. In fact, the veteran hitter is coming off a career-low batting average of just 223 in the 2025 season. He hasn't exactly been a power hitter to make up for that low average either, adding just 14 home runs and 53 runs batted in last season. Perhaps the Yankees view acquiring Robert as a buy low opportunity. A case could definitely be made that Robert would be helped by being surrounded by notable Yankees bats in a deeper lineup, which might unlock his potential again. Plus, given his recent struggles, it is hard to imagine that the Yankees would have to give up a lot in a trade to acquire him. However, the bigger question remains: can the Yankees get a deal done with Bellinger amid these lengthy negotiations? Or are they pivoting to Robert because they know they have lost the bidding war? With the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Mets potentially coming out stronger for Bellinger now that Tucker is off the board, the pressure is on Brian Cashman. If the plan shifts from a proven star like Bellinger to a reclamation project like Robert, you have to wonder if this team is doing enough to compete with the juggernauts like the Dodgers. It is a developing situation, but right now, the pessimism in the Bronx is real. That was a heavy one to start with, but we have to keep moving. The next update is a bit more global and involves one of our most electric players stepping onto the world stage. Update 2. Jazz Chisholm Jr. shocks fans with unexpected international move for the World Baseball Classic. Moving on to our second big story of the day, and this one is taking us out of the Bronx and on to the international stage. We have another New York Yankee officially throwing his hat into the ring for the 2026 World Baseball Classic. But the jersey he is going to wear might catch a few of you off guard. We all know the World Baseball Classic is a massive stage, and we want our guys to get those competitive reps in. Well, Jazz Chisholm Jr. has officially committed to suit up for Great Britain. That is right. Our electric second baseman is going across the pond, figuratively speaking, to represent Great Britain, as reported by World Baseball Classic reporter Sean Spradling just this Friday. Now, you might be scratching your head asking, Great Britain? But remember, Jazz is a Bahamas native, and he actually played for Great Britain in the World Baseball Classic qualifiers way back in 2016 when he was just an 18-year-old kid. This time, he is doing it as a bona fide Major League Baseball star. Great Britain delegation head Gary Anderson and manager Brady Marcelino made it clear last month at the winter meetings that there was strong interest in having Chisholm on the squad. Let's be honest, for Jazz, this is massive. He is entering his walk year, meaning he is playing for a contract. This is his chance to show the world what he can do on a big stage before the Major League Baseball season even grinds into gear. The paperwork regarding his eligibility and insurance has evidently been approved, so it is a done deal. Jazz joins teammates Aaron Judge and David Bednar, who have already committed to Team United States of America. But Jazz is not the only one. A handful of other Yankees are candidates to play in the tournament, including Camilo Doval for the Dominican Republic, Fernando Cruz for Puerto Rico, Jose Caballero for Panama, and Austin Wells for the Dominican Republic. Speaking of Austin Wells, the Yankees would be well advised to let him play all year for the Dominican Republic to keep that bat hot. But all eyes are going to be on Jazz Chisholm Jr. in Pool B. Great Britain is set to face off against the United States, Mexico, Italy, and Brazil, with pool play set for March 6th through the 11th at Houston's Daikin Park. Here is the real kicker, and the question every Yankees fan is asking. Which version of Jazz are we going to see in this classic? Will it be the undisciplined, seat-swinging hitter with a 242 average who is often fooled and becomes a strikeout machine? Or will we see the 70% Jazz who makes contact, hits 300, and delivers with runners on base? This tournament is going to be a huge test for him. We are talking about a 20-team tournament played from March 5th to the 17th, 2026. With Japan defending their title after defeating the United States in 2023, the competition level is going to be through the roof. If Jazz can dominate in Pool B against teams like the United States and Mexico, it could set the tone for a monster season in the Bronx. But if he struggles, the New York media is not going to let him forget it. So, Jazz is going British from March. I want to know your thoughts. Is this good for his preparation, or do you worry about injury risks? Update 3. The embarrassing stunt that exposes the Yankees' flawed strategy compared to the Dodgers. And finally, we arrive at the third and perhaps most frustrating update of the day. If the first two stories made you nervous, this one might just make you angry. It is a tale of two franchises, and right now, the contrast between the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers is absolutely glaring. A new report has surfaced analyzing the Yankees' decision to extend a qualifying offer to Trent Grisham earlier this offseason. We may never know for sure if the Yankees knew Grisham would accept it, but it certainly seems like they were trying to pull a fast one. Essentially, the Yankees bet $22 million with the idea that they would receive a paltry fourth-round pick in return if he declined. They were trying to weasel their way into a middling draft pick while playing small ball with the roster. Now compare that to what is happening in Los Angeles. The Dodgers are going big, massive, with yet another World Series on their minds. In signing Edwin Diaz and Kyle Tucker, two free agents who declined qualifying offers, the Dodgers have voluntarily burned their second, third, fifth, and sixth highest draft picks in the 2026 draft. Think about that difference. The Dodgers used to be wary of losing picks, but now they do not care. If it ends in a three-peat, no one in Los Angeles will be complaining. Meanwhile, the Yankees are falling even further behind in the Major League Baseball arms race. To make matters worse, the Yankees haven't signed any free agents with a profile high enough to cost them a draft pick via the qualifying offer. Instead, most of the players they have signed have been described as bottom-of-the-roster fodder. This opens up a broader, more painful discussion about how these clubs handle their assets. The Dodgers have a top-ranked farm system year in and year out, yet they trade away far more prospects than they keep, and now they are giving away draft picks to score big in free agency. New York, on the other hand, has hugged prospects for far too long and watched many of them turn their value to dust. It comes down to money and philosophy. The Dodgers spend big on player development and the international market. The Yankees seem to be hedging their bets, making small plays that yield minimal results. We have to ask ourselves, what is the likelihood that the extra fourth-round pick the Yankees tried to get for Grisham would have turned into anything of value? Very slim. Conversely, what is the likelihood that the picks the Dodgers lost will matter if they win another ring? Minuscule. This report serves as a massive wake-up call to Brian Cashman, Hal Steinbrenner, and the rest of the brass. The Dodgers are doing everything in service of winning it all, while we are trying to win the accounting department championship. It is a harsh reality, but one we need to face. So there you have it, Yankees universe. 3 major updates that paint a very complicated picture for our upcoming season. We have the stalled negotiations with Cody Bellinger, forcing us to look at reclamation projects like Luis Robert Jr. We have Jazz Chisholm Jr. taking his talents to Great Britain for the World Baseball Classic. And finally, the sobering reality check of our front office strategy compared to the aggressive win-now mentality of the Dodgers. It is a lot to digest, and I want to hear from you. Are you okay with the Yankees pivoting to Luis Robert Jr. if Bellinger walks? Are you excited to see Jazz play internationally? And does the front office approach regarding draft picks and prospects need a complete overhaul? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section below. I read every single one of them because your voice matters. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss a breaking update about the New York Yankees. Thank you so much for tuning in to the New York Yankees News Network. Stay strong, keep the faith, and as always, let's go Yankees.